Hi guys, I'm Ragini Tandan and I'm here to perform my most loved song for you. Lamberghini chalai. Oh no, just kidding. I'm here to talk about how focus and unfocus are important in my life, and I'm here to share my experiences with you. For the last 4 crazy years of my life, I have been time and again thinking about the word focus. The usual understanding is that focus helps one make a better life. Focusing in different capacities on work, family, friends, and all of that. For example, when I was younger, and I'm sure it was the same for all you guys, I wanted to finish all my homework just so that I could go out and play with my friends. A little later, my focus drifted a little, except I still wanted to finish all the work and attend all the extracurricular activities right on time so that I could reach home and watch this favorite serial of mine called Dil Mil Gaye. I was so obsessed with romance, I cannot even tell you. So anyway, I used to schedule my classes exactly at the time so that I could finish all that work and reach home and watch that serial. Priorities were very clear. Then came the time when we had to choose our streams and figure out that one stream that is going to help us with what we really want to do. I remember I used to wonder, how can I decide so early in life? Like, what if I feel differently in a year or two? How do you find that one thing that you really want to do for the rest of your life? I mean, we're like 16, 17 years old when we have to make these big decisions. So then the real question that arises is, how do we find that one thing that we should and want to be focusing on? It was 2008, I remember, when our school principal asked us to write down on a chit our one ultimate dream. Even then, I remember, mine was to be a playback singer. I remember writing on that paper, literally, that I want to be in Bombay and I want to be recording in Yash Raj Studios. So music classes were my favorite part of the day. Believe it or not, I missed Dil Mil Gaye multiple times just so that I could attend an extra music class. In the 10th grade, I even convinced my principal to let me miss 2 exams just so that I could attend a music competition in Delhi. It was fun, except for the part where I was sitting and giving exams and my friends were actually celebrating the end of them. So anyway, at that age, I didn't know if this dream was even possible. And then life hit like it does to all of us. DU cutoffs, interviews, board results, and so much more, and all the stressful things that happen to come with it. I have always been a fairly average student. I used to score about 70 to 80%, and I was happy with it, to be honest, as long as I could attend those music classes. We all know board exams are important, so I made sure I studied, and I studied like never before, and I was quite confident about the range of percentage that I would get. This was when I realized there is something else in this world that I really enjoyed learning about, and that was the subject psychology. My focus was now divided between these two things that I absolutely loved, singing and psychology. And at this time, even though my music kept going, making a career out of it was not on the cards. DU cutoffs at that time were peaking at 120%. They were expecting you to answer all the questions, maybe write 2 questions extra from your own side, answer those 2 just to get admission in a college. And here I was, really wanting to do psychology honors, but with a result of 89%. Way lower than the DU cutoff. We tried the ECA route as well, but I still didn't get in anywhere. I was simply devastated and I just didn't know what to do. There were these 2 things I really wanted to make a part of my life, but I just couldn't figure out how. I enrolled in a liberal arts college in Pune. I would call that year a year of complete unfocus. I was studying all types of things, from ethics to biology to calligraphy to the cultural study of gods. I had no idea what was in store for me, and I just kept telling myself to keep going, relax, and enjoy. In other words, now that I realize, unfocus. Now, if you Google the synonyms of the word unfocused, this is what you'll see: vague, distracted, unstructured, aimless, bewakoof. I mean, when someone calls you unfocused, it's not meant as a compliment. It's supposed to be an insult. It hurts and brings all types of sadness and negativity, telling you from personal experience. Now, here's what the fun part is, which of course I realized much, much later in life. Unfocusing from something you're pursuing doesn't necessarily mean you're unfocused in life. Research has shown that unfocusing allows you to develop resilience, enhance your creativity, and also help you make better decisions. When we unfocus from some problem or challenge, we relax enough to see new possibilities and solutions. That year for me was random. Lots of unstructured time, lots of aimless, purposeless strolling around campus, deep thinking, and so much more. And I would say that all this made my mind so much clearer than it was the year before. The stress of 12th standard, college applications, choosing streams, it was all quite a mental storm. This year in Pune was almost like a healing experience. The fact that I got to learn so many new things was just an added bonus. I didn't know at that time how much this so called unfocus was helping me grow towards being a stronger, calmer, and a more determined person. I was quietly strengthening my resolve to build the life I wanted, to find solutions to most, if not all, my problems. Unfocusing gave me new opportunities, exposure, and chances to experience much more than I had ever imagined. When I say I became more determined, here's how. I reapplied to DU in the next year through ECA. And this time, voila, I got through. Happiest day of my life, believe me. I mean, you all know how it feels to be admitted here, right? I was the same person that I was a year ago. My percentage had not magically increased to 120%. My singing had improved a little, sure, but I think I got in this time because I was calmer, clearer, and more determined, and had spent a lot of time being unfocused. This time, I went in with a happy energy. And trust me, that vibe is everything. I believe that made all the difference. Srini Pillai, a neuroscientist and an acclaimed author, makes the case for why we need to unfocus sometimes. In a story for the Harvard Business Review, he writes, "The problem is that excessive focus exhausts the focus circuits in your brain. It can drain your energy and make you lose self-control. This energy drain can also make you more impulsive and less helpful. As a result, decisions are poorly thought out and you become less collaborative." Being an artist, I happen to experience creative blocks many times, making it extremely difficult for me to come up with something fresh, something I would love to call my work. At this time, I usually try to move on with other things around me. Like, sometimes I would start cleaning up my room, I would clean my cupboard, maybe put up a movie along with it. So while writing about this, I realized that this was my way of unfocusing, letting my mind wander. And in simple terms, just chill. And most of the time, after unfocusing, after this whole procedure, I would just get new ideas or tunes which I love and in time have also worked upon to turn them into songs, which of course you'll hear in the near future. So let me give you an example of unfocusing that I'm sure has happened with each one of you. Like, it's a part of our daily life. So one day you keep something valuable in a place that is extremely safe and you will never forget. And literally the next day, you just can't seem to find it. When it happens with me, I become so frustrated and I feel like the whole universe is conspiring against me. But then the amazing thing is that as soon as you finally give up and stop thinking about where that valuable thing might have gone, it suddenly comes back to you. Something in your mind clicks and there it is. Solutions come when we're just not engaged in particular tasks and have the mental freedom to entertain new ideas and find connections that have previously evaded us. Unfocusing gives your mind the space that it requires to find those solutions. Find that clarity. In simple words, if you're struggling with some problem, deliberately set aside some time to daydream about it. Don't think about it at all. And the benefits of doing so will be that your unconscious mind will get on the job and produce creative solutions without you having to do very much at all. In 2020, we all went through some major changes in life and in the world because of the pandemic. As a part of an ever evolving industry, as an artist, being just extremely focused about work, my music, compositions, and all of that just didn't seem enough. Even when the work was being done, the music was being made, it just didn't feel sufficient. I was figuring out ways to reach my audience in many different ways as I could. And slowly, the scary thoughts surfaced. The cycle of feeling stressed and feeling worked up began. Seriously, the struggle of not knowing whether you're doing the right thing is real. I took some time to just brainstorm and channel my focus on something more. This helped me understand that it wasn't good enough to just have focus. I needed to have diversification. That was when I decided to start working with my brother on Castico, where I got to meet new people online who were also interested in music. It helped me channel my focus towards other possibilities and solutions instead of just sitting around stressing about life and about how the world was in shutdown mode. There's also another way to look at the whole focus-unfocus scenario, which seems like a very, very different approach to me. Focus to unfocus. There are certain situations in every person's life that they just don't want to think about, but sometimes they just can't help it. Breakups, career, money problems, work stress, family issues, the future, the list has no end. This is where focus to unfocus can be most powerful. Yes, it is possible for a person to dive deep into a particular thing, so much so that everything else around them is in complete unfocus. This can be a great way to move aggressively towards your goals. But I can tell you from personal experience, this kind of approach only leads to exhaustion, fatigue, and sometimes loneliness as well. You tend to forget to chill, socialize, and have some fun from time to time. Why? Because you're too focused on that just one thing. Yes, it is good to be focused, but why not just relax and let your mind wander while it also is working unconsciously and in a way finding new possibilities and solutions for us. Anyway, I know you're all having a great time in college already, so I thought I'd give you a nice argument to give your parents when they don't want you to party, they don't want you to take naps or go on long trips, or just sit around and do nothing. Before I go, I'd like to just say one more thing. I've been making this argument for how unfocusing is great because it increases productivity and makes you focus better on your goals and so on. But all that aside, unfocusing is just too much fun. And like COVID-19 has taught us, sometimes in life, having fun is enough too. On that note, I'll leave you with a few lines from an essay by Baudelaire, a French poet. For the perfect idler, for the passionate observer, it becomes an immense source of enjoyment to establish his dwelling in the throng, in the ebb and flow, the bustle, the fleeting and the infinite. To be away from home and yet to feel at home everywhere. To see the world, to be at the very center of the world, and yet to be unseen to the world. Such are the minor pleasures of those independent and impartial spirits who do not lend themselves to definitions. Thank you for listening, guys. Hope this talk helps you unfocus. Have a great day.